Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 2, The Warden and the Paunch, where so far, things are going very well. And now comes the exciting time where we get to start playing with some more of the new units. So, in order to do that, obviously, we gotta recruit some of them. I think we're gonna just step into Karakungor here to push obedience up a little bit. And then our obedience in Karak Kedron's fine, right? Yeah. Okay, and then we're going to kick some of these normal weak units out of our army and replace them with cooler, higher level stuff, but first we got to figure out exactly what stuff it is that we want. So, I definitely want to bring in some new trolls. Let's have a look at how these trolls compare. So the normal troll, the normal everyday troll that we are, at this point, pretty acquainted with, recruits in a single turn, has 230 upkeep. Compared to that, a river troll is really not that much better, considering the extra money and the extra turn of recruitment time. Why is that so much more expensive? Okay, hold on. So it's aquatic. It doesn't suffer the movement and fighting penalties from shallow water, which don't really come up all that often. This can hide in... Okay, this can hide in forests, whereas normal trolls can't. Usually large units cannot do stealth, so that's interesting, a large unit that can be hidden. And then it also lowers the melee attack of all enemies within 30 meters by 6. That's actually pretty powerful. And it's just constant, it's on all the time. Okay, I could kind of see that. It has 22 less weapon strength than a normal troll, though. More defense, but to be perfectly honest with you, I don't think... This doesn't look great to me. I'm not really sure what the deal is with this unit. And then the Stone Troll, by comparison, is just mathematically superior in many ways. It's got a lot of extra points of stats. And it has 25% magic resist and 30% missile resist. Yeah, that's pretty good. On top of 30 additional armor, and that's gonna be a pretty compelling unit. Hold on. Also, we should take a quick look here. We know we have a quest battle coming up. What are the enemies that are in the quest battle? So they have some of their own trolls. They have Chaos Warhounds. To be perfectly honest with you, I'm not afraid of Chaos Warhounds like at all. They're quite bad units in my opinion. And then they also have some Chaos Spawn, which are pretty powerful. They die quickly, but they also kill quickly. And these guys are large, as are the Chaos Trolls. So what we really want is some anti-large units, it looks like. Unfortunately, we can't exactly know what we're up against, because reinforcements, but... yeah, some anti-large units might be a good idea. Fortunately, we do have access to a decent anti-large unit in the Orc Biggin, which has 8 points of bonus versus large. And keep in mind, those bonuses are applied to both the melee attack and the weapon strength when fighting things of the indicated type. So... do we want to just replace all of our Orc boys with Biggins? Well, probably not, because that would be it would take a long time to do that. Hold on, let's do another little comparison here. So Orc boys are inferior to Biggins in every way except speed, where they are the same. But Orc Biggins cost almost as much, or almost twice as much upkeep per turn, which is definitely significant. Alright, I'm pretty sure that we want to recruit a couple of trolls and a whole lot of Biggins. And then, there's still also these Goblin War Machines. Are these appropriate for this task at all? So, like, what's the difference between them? Let's have a quick look. So, the Snotling Pump Wagon, 20 melee attack, 22 defense, 50 charge bonus makes it quite good as shock cavalry. And then it has a 15-point bonus versus infantry. And this augment that makes it faster increases its charge bonus and effectively increases its mass. These seem all right, honestly. For like to be the hammer in a hammer and anvil strategy, these seem pretty okay. 60 speed, that's decent. The flap up pump wagons are just completely better, and in addition, okay, they ignore terrain penalties, which is pretty cool, and can move through trees. And then is there bonus versus infantry? Okay, it's all the same. And then those guys compared to the Spiky Rollers. Spiky Rollers have way more health. They're a little bit slower, and they're a lot less chargy. Oh, the Flapple Pump Wagons have 80 points of charge bonus. That's very significant. And the Spiky Rollers have way less charge bonus, a little bit less melee defense, but they have Sunder. So whenever they hit an opponent, that opponent loses 30 armor for 10 seconds. Both of those seem really good and powerful. And they're also only one turn to recruit, so that means that bringing them in through the global pool only costs us 2 turns. Because remember, the global pool is always double whatever their normal recruitment time is. Okay, I think we want to resculpt a little bit here. So let's start by kicking out the units of Orc Boys, let's say 5 units of Orc Boys that have the lowest experience levels. And I think I am just going to pull in 5 units of Biggins to replace them, just straight up. And then we got to think about what else we want to do to this army. I want to bring in some trolls. We could probably... Let's see, 5 units of Biggins. Those are going to be like our stand in front of the enemy and tank type units. We also have some normal trolls, and we have Drumpla Bilespua, the terrifying troll wizard. Does she have the same... Yeah, okay, she totally does, because she's a river troll. Okay, that's interesting. She has access to some basic magic, and, of course, that good old swamp breath. So she has high weapon strength, but pretty poor melee attack. She's a weird kind of wizard. What's her skill tree look like? So she has access to Spirit Leech. Okay, so she has access to the kinds of magic that ordinarily only Azhag has. That's a little bit of a bummer because it reduces his specialness. The fact that the other orc factions have access to these river trolls. But that's fine. We'll train her up as a good wizard, and then we'll probably have her split off and go into someone else's army later on so that we have access to this magic in more places. And she can pick up some pretty basic combat stuff. Attacks cause the horrible smell effect, reducing leadership. Okay, so she seems like a fighting wizard who is definitely not supposed to be tanking enemies. Alright, let's, So that being the case, we have these 5 guys, plus Azhag himself a little bit. You can see his stats are getting better as we equip him and stuff. But I still don't really want him tanking. So let's not replace these guys all with pump wagons then, because we probably want a little bit more of a melee core. To be perfectly honest with you, I kind of want some stone trolls, but if we're going to recruit stone trolls, we should do that through the normal pool probably, because they take so long to pull in. Although I guess at this point it's going to be 4 turns either way. But like, let's get 2 units of stone trolls. And then I'm not going to be able to make use of more than 1 unit of pump wagons at a time probably because I'm clumsy and bad at commanding units. So let's we'll grab some pump wagons through this pool just to get those recruited. Although I guess if we're waiting 4 turns anyway, yeah, there's no reason to use the global pool really then. So let's grab... Do we want the armor reducer or the one that's really chargy? This one has a higher base weapon strength and higher base weapon attack, so it offsets the loss of charge bonus a little bit. I think I want the armor reducer. And then we have 1 space left in this army. How do we want to use it? Oh, no, we don't. Sorry, I'm looking at the WOG count. It's 19 of 20. And then, is there any other change that we want to make? Oh, we do have access to Night Goblin archers now, so poison arrows. Do I want to replace the existing Orc Arrow Boys with them? The Orc Arrow Boys have more health, more armor, more leadership. They have 25 extra points of range, which totally does matter. Their missiles do a little bit more damage. Maybe we should replace, like... I'm going to replace half of the units. Because the Arrow Boys are better at actually killing stuff, but the Night Goblins spreading that poison debuff will be awfully nice. Okay. And then... Actually, looking at this, if we were to cancel 2 of these guys and bring them in through the global pool instead... That doesn't change anything. What am I doing? That doesn't change anything at all. I was trying to figure out a clever way of getting this done in fewer than 4 turns, but I don't think there is one. Yeah, no, there isn't. So we're just going to sit here for 4 turns. Hooray, what fun. We have 84 scrap to use to upgrade our stuff, and during that 4 turns, we probably won't be doing anything other than having Gouger run around and look for stuff to mess with. And once our army's all full up, we might just teleport to that quest battle, because it is probably pretty important that we get the Crown of Sorcery thing figured out so that Azhag can continue his magical education. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed to find out that the orcs have access to this school of magic from other characters. It's a tiny bit sad for Azhag. Alright, we could have him just harass random... can't perform damage walls on a settlement that doesn't have any walls. Could have him just harass random armies. Yeah, we'll go this way and mess with these dudes. And we will continue to try to talk to the vampires. Ooh, their opinion of us is trending downward. I really want to get a defensive alliance with them if we can. I mean, we can pay them again. I guess they're in what have you done for us lately mode right now. Yeah, alright. I would like to offer a... $52.97. How much money am I bringing in per turn? $2,700 right now, but keep in mind that number's going to go down when we finish recruiting these units. Still, though, we're not desperate for cash at the moment. We're 3 turns off of being able to upgrade Carrick Ungor's main settlement. This is not urgent. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to give them what they're asking for, because I would really, really, really like to get that, defensive alliance settled. So they're trending upward towards 67. Yeah, if we can get that done, it'll be a big deal for us, eventually. Yeah, we did your turn already. You know, I'm realizing I don't actually know what order things occur in at the beginning of the turn. I'm not sure if we'll get paid from our income and then finish recruitment, or the other way around. So I guess this is a good opportunity to find out. If we get our income before recruitment finishes, we'll be in the neighborhood of like 36 or 3,700 gold. Okay, so yeah, we got paid before recruitment happened. Our Lord Grognok Face Smasher has returned from his absence. That's the lord that was leading the army that we inherited, that I dismissed. I think we probably want to just go ahead and push up our money-making building. And we're 2 turns off of... Yep. Alright, Gouger, go spend some money getting in trouble. Block this army, even though doing so will accomplish nothing, because it gives you XP. We want to get our little dude leveled up as quickly as possible. Let's take a point of Specialist here. Just improves all of his hero actions. We need this dude to be competent at murder as quickly as possible to keep enemy agents from being a huge pain for us. If you do not have a way of controlling enemy agents, they're just allowed to run around and sabotage your settlements and block your armies, they can really cause some serious problems. And you know, one thing I'm realizing I didn't do is the quick napkin math on what our army upkeep is going to look like after we recruit these better units. We might actually be running an army that is expensive enough that we will be negative on gold per turn. Ornery Backslider is back. The odds of us recruiting him are basically 0. And it's kind of magic. From the plains, a wandering lone greenskin emerges. He's a shaman, expelled from his previous tribe due to an unfortunate incident with Dabaz's pet squig. That's a thing that we really don't ever want any details on. He's looking for a new master to serve, so we've got a new Night Goblin Shaman here. Night Goblin Shamans have access to their own kind of magic that's called the Little Wah, or the Small Wah, something like that. I don't know. Reduced power recharge rate for enemies. Huh. That's not a great, it's not a great passive. Vindictive Glare, which is eye lasers. Itchy Nuisance, which lowers the opponent's melee attack and weapon damage by quite a lot, actually. A reduction in speed on enemies. Night Shroud, which lets our units move around stealthily. And a vortex called Curse of the Bad Moon, which just, runs around and reduces enemy melee defense and armor while also causing some damage. You know, honestly, that looks like it might be a pretty great spell. And what does he do when he's attached to an army? He gives the scouting effect. Increases your chance of finding magic items. And he can also go cause trouble. You know what? Go cause trouble to level up right now. I don't think I want you in my army right this moment, but we'll probably, instead of using him as a map agent, we'll probably put him in an army eventually, once we have enough spare armies. Alright, just keep generating XP for the moment. You did it! You successfully blocked them. Let's keep leveling stuff up as we can here. Alright. This will be the turn when the recruitment finishes. It looks like we will not be negative on gold, but we're not going to have very much income. That's fine. We don't need a ton of passive income. We'll get a lot of income from raiding and sacking. We spent a lot of effort making sure that we can get a reasonable amount of money from raiding and sacking. You see that he had to go into March mode to make it from Kislev to Prague in one move. That'll show him. Alright, Ozhag has become a more efficient recruiter, and with the army finished, we are at 464 gold per turn. Also, Ozhag is getting better at instilling obedience in his followers, which is fine, I guess. Alright, how do we want to level you up? We might want to just take the extra replenishment. This seems pretty powerful. And it's not as critical that we get her magic leveled up fast, because obviously we have access to the spells already in this army. I think let's take the replenishment bonus for right now. And what are we doing tech-wise? Like, what's my plan? We were taking no complaining, but after that, do we have a real strategy? So, egg them on to make goblins better, and then on second thoughts to make goblins even better. It's not amazing. In case you're wondering why this increases the amount of ammunition that is available for the Doomdiver catapult, it's because the Doomdiver catapult fires goblins. Don't worry, you'll get to see them. They're excellent. We will absolutely use them. This gives some bonuses that we probably don't care about. This also gives bonuses we don't care about. So I guess after we unlock No Complaining, we'll have access to Reknik's Spiderclaw, the Goblin Great Shaman. And his army will be spider-themed. You know what? That might be a good way to go for our second army. Okay, we'll have to save up a little bit of money to make that work, though. Alright, maybe let's teleport to that quest battle, right? I think we're ready-ish. I'm also very curious whether or not we'll get our Wog army. Is it all the way healed up? It is all the way healed up. I'm curious whether or not we'll get them in the battle. Okay, we have 84 scrap, so we may as well use some of that. Do I want to just throw an upgrade on 4 of our units of Biggins? I think I probably do. So 25 armor, take them up to 75, which is a pretty significant amount of physical damage reduction. If you mouse over armor, does it tell... Okay, no, it doesn't give you any math, unfortunately. But for some kind of reference, dwarf units, which I frequently refer to as very heavily armored, frustratingly heavily armored, often have like 80 to 110, so getting up to 75 is pretty good. Or we could just do this thing. I don't know if the weapon strength, if a percentage weapon strength bonus will increase the effectiveness of our bonus versus large. My guess is it probably won't. But this would be, on these guys, like almost 15 points of damage. It's probably better than wizardly weapons, especially considering... Yeah, it's gonna give almost 6 points of armor piercing damage just from the amount that it increases armor piercing damage, and then there's the base damage on top of that. Let's go reinforced weapons on 4 of these units. Maybe I'm gonna regret having spent all this metal this way, but I think it behooves us to be ready. Quest battles can be quite difficult. And we have a lot riding on this. Alright, let's get in there and cause some trouble. We're given good odds, but keep in mind, this is not the full enemy force. Also, this guy has... Oh, right, he has my Crown of Sorcery. That makes sense. I could see why that would be the case. Alright, let's go get him. So we're well set against the force that we can see here. This city is evil, even for an orc of Ozhag's temperament. Yet the loot in the city is worth the risk, even if that risk is facing against Chaos and the Undead. The Chaos forces will be attacking from within the ruins. Gork knows where the Undead will be striking from. I'm guessing below us. And watch the skies, it said.
Alright, lads. Here's the plan. We're going into this lost city, but before we can rummage, we're going to clear out all them undead things. Give them a good kicking. Once we've killed everything, no one to go looting until I say so. This is my plan, so I get the top picks. I'm in charge now, and I need a shiny boss hat. Anyone who disobeys will get a boot up their backside. Remember, this is a cursed place. The Shamans don't like it, so no messing with stuff you don't understand. If you summon something from the void, you'll have to deal with it yourself.
That's the only one of those I've ever seen that didn't have subtitles, and it really needed them. Okay, so we know there will be undead reinforcements. That's fine. We're probably pretty well suited to dealing with the undead. So, biggins. Big and angry right in front. We're going to have our sneaky infantry try to go up the side here. So actually, I'm going to move the biggins over then. Try to keep the enemy attention over here. Let's go Orc Arrow Boys on the outsides of the archer line. And we're going to keep the trolls kind of in reserve near, like, we don't want them to be in front, right? Same deal for the pump wagons. Where could we move the pump wagons that's going to make any kind of sense here? Can I place the catapults far enough forward for them to have... Nope, we're going to have to roll them forward no matter how we do this. We might just have to wait for the enemy to engage before we can really move in here. This underground city map is not ideal for cavalry-type shenanigans. We'll just keep our various leadership units near the front. Okay. So what's the deal with the vomit thing? The swamp breath has a 60-meter range, cannot target flying units. Okay, I'm a little worried about the flying stuff. Are they coming to us? Or, yeah, it looks like they're coming to us. If they're coming to us, I'm not inclined to do anything other than wait. Although I suppose there's no reason not to move my force up in front of the catapults. Let's grab, I mean, pretty much everybody, and just move them up some. Pump wagons will have to wait a little bit until some kind of opening happens. And, I mean, we have archers. They can shoot at these guys, so is it just bats? It is not just bats. There are also Vargeists. So these things are a little bit more concerning. The bats are easy enough to kill. I'm not too worried about shooting them all down, although actually I'm doing a lot of damage to those bats right away. But once the bats land, they will get absolutely destroyed in melee combat with basically any orc unit. So of course they go for the goblins. Smart play. Oh boy, that's a lot of incoming. All right, let's make sure that we're doing this in a sensible way. The trolls can get in here. Ozhag can get in here. Obviously, this is a pretty short-term distraction move. What else do we have coming at us? We have still the Chaos Trolls are running in. Over there, there's a Vargulf. A Vargulf, in case you're not familiar, is this thing. I think it's mostly bat. It's mostly just a very large bat that can't fly. It's definitely a problem, though. And then they have additionally some scarier undead coming in back here. Hex Wraiths, Cairn Wraiths, rather, which are ghostly scythe guys. As ghosts, they don't take a lot of damage from, getting punched, which is a real shame for an orc army, but we do have some magic damage. They got some crypt ghouls, which are reasonably dangerous infantry. Fairly high damage. A bunch of skeleton warriors and stuff. Like, I'm not worried about skeletons and zombies. Those we can handle, although, boy, they sure are bringing a lot of them. Also, sad we didn't get to bring our log army, but not really surprised. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so there's a couple of things we have to talk about here before we continue the battle. The Chaos units use the same leadership rules that our own units do. They can be broken and forced to run. What you're seeing over here with these bats, for example, is that undead units do not have the same leadership system. All undead units are fearless, and when their leadership goes down, instead of running, they begin to crumble. The magic that holds them together literally falls apart, and they begin to break into pieces. So, they'll continue fighting during that time, but this unit is like constantly losing health, and will die on its own even without us getting any further involved. Alright, do we want to do any magic here? I don't think so. I don't think we need to. We probably want to save the magic for the approaching enemies. I'm going to have one of the units of stone trolls run over here. I probably should have done this to begin with. That's a little bit of an error on my part, I think. Okay. The trolls will probably be able to deal with these things pretty easily. Let's get the pump wagons out of there. I don't want them doing any stationary combat. The rock lobbers need to focus on... it's just kind of the center chaos trolls. The wizard is shooting wizard magic at us, which is a bad time. Here, we'll hit the helm just to speed this process up a little bit. They are trying to kill my catapult crew. Do not let them do this. Alright, so they've complicated the situation considerably. The River Troll probably is not up to the task of fighting off that many units of interferers by herself. Let's have the Night Goblin Archers focus on the Chaos Spawn. We want to try to bring these guys down as quickly as possible, and that's going to mean reducing their stats, obviously. Yeah, they're going to keep us locked up for a really long time, I can tell. Okay, so we're going to have to use the Nasty Skulkers in a slightly different way than I intended. Let's have... one of them smoke bomb the Vargulf. The others need to get the hell away from it as quickly as possible. And we need to have a unit of Biggins hit that quickly. Also, I'm going to have my pump wagon charge these bats. Hopefully we can break the bats down real fast because we need them focused on other stuff. Archers, all of you want in guard mode. Don't chase your targets. Start working on the Warhounds? Or maybe the Chaos Spawn. Make more sense here. And then because those Chaos Spawn no longer have a unit of Biggins to run toward, we're going to move the Stone Trolls up more aggressively on this side. I think we can keep the normal... oh, that unit of Trolls that I commanded to run across never did run across. So you guys, congratulations. You just got volunteered. Alright. For the most part, this is a high damage but low defense wave that's coming in at us. And our plan is just going to be to mash them up as fast as possible. Not a lot of strategy being applied here. Try to give the dogs a wind blast. Oof, little too fast for me there. One of the units of trolls needs to step forward and fight those dogs. Have the arrow boys try to back up a little bit. In there on them. Okay, we got poison debuffs. Honestly, Orc Arrow Boys will beat Chaos Warhounds in melee combat pretty easily, I think, so I'm not too stressed about that. Right, you guys gotta swing in here. You can see the Chaos Trolls have very weak... oh, right, there was one more thing I wanted to talk about. I got distracted. I talked about the undead thing. But fear and terror. So we're up against enemies that cause fear and terror here. The Chaos Trolls definitely cause fear. These guys cause fear. I'm pretty sure the ghosts cause terror. Units that cause fear are also immune to fear. Units that cause terror are immune to both fear and terror. So, when we hit this, we're not going to scare the enemy, but we're going to stop being scared ourselves. I'm definitely going to fire it right now. There's, I suppose, a school of thought that maybe what we should do is wait for the undead to get in. But my plan is start this now, and then just build it up for a second run by the time the rest of these enemies get in. And I'm wondering if we should focus the catapults further back. Yeah, in fact, I'm not wondering. That's definitely right. Catapults get on that. You can see here, Vargulfs are scary and they do a lot of damage, but they're actually very poor. They have very poor leadership for large monsters. So our plan here is going to be to break his binding and then just fight him while he slowly bleeds to death, which is maybe a real plan. It might work. You can't prove that it won't. Does it feel to you guys like I challenge you a lot in situations where you can't respond to defend yourself? Okay. When a panicked unit is running, if it hits the edge of the map, it just leaves the battle and can't return, even if it ordinarily would recover. So, on these tiny little maps, that really comes into play a lot. Let's go... Okay, I think I'll be able to hit some of these enemies. You guys gotta back up. Let's get these... I'm trying to get these skulkers out of here, because this is not really their thing, fighting big, scary enemies. Okay, we've broken the Vargulf. I'm going to have you guys run up. So that also means that in cases where we have units who naturally cause fear or terror, it's a good idea to pair them against the enemy units that do the same. And so far, the River Troll is actually doing a pretty good job holding her own. I'm going to see if we can withdraw her through our force so that we can start using her vomit attack, because I think this is the kind of time when that is going to start making a lot of sense. And also, we are now up against the Wraiths. We need to get our magic damage on. So, we don't really have good magic damage, though, do we? Well... I mean, we have Spirit Leech. Spirit Leech is not great against groups of enemies. It's really a thing you want to do to a single character. I think we may just have to force through their damage reduction. So, ethereal units are not actually immune to physical damage, but they have 75% physical resist. The trade-off is that they don't usually have a lot of health by themselves. This is a case where it might have been smart. Well, I was going to say it might have been smart to go wizardly weapons, but the wizardly weapons don't actually do magic damage, right? They just do armor piercing. Let's apply some debuffs to them, and to anybody else who, like, who's the next? I guess poison the Chaos Trolls. That maybe makes sense. You guys, yeah, just fire at whoever. Try to keep these biggins distracting the enemy. They could probably use some reinforcement. This bit, where we now have way more enemy infantry in, this is where the rollers come into play, so we should probably get them around here. I'm going to have these skulkers fall back away from combat. Let's use the trolls to break the enemy charge, and then we'll have the skulkers come in behind them. So actually, the skulkers should probably be more like over here. And this unit of skulkers is almost certainly going to run off the map before it could possibly recover. Alright, let's get over here, and as soon as I get close enough to them for it to affect them... Well, hold on, let's let that other unit get close too. There we go. Employ the crown. You guys run over there and attack them. I mean, the nasty skulkers can fight zombies just fine. This should be no problem for them. Alright, catapult fire still coming in. How is... Okay, cooldown on Wind Blast is up again. I'm just using it to harass at this point. It really just doesn't do very much damage. Okay, do we have... We don't really have a lot of spare bodies still. And we're still dealing with bats. Okay, you know what? Get rid of the bats. Spiky Rolla's got to focus on the bats, because they're causing arrow problems. Alright, their Chaos Lord has to go down. A Chaos Lord is actually a pretty decent melee unit. Okay, you guys stay in on those Cairn Wraiths. The Cairn Wraiths are breaking, which is real good news for us. They also have this Necromancer over here, who, probably to no one's surprise, is not a very good melee unit, and will absolutely get killed as soon as he steps into melee with our real stuff, so hopefully we can make that happen quickly. Right, you guys charge over here. Let's refocus the catapults sort of in the middle of the enemy force. You guys toughen up. to be perfectly honest with you, I'm pretty happy about the way that our river troll held in combat for so long. You guys got rid of those bats. Try to sweep around here and throw a charge into these guys. But we're gonna need bodies on this front. The good news is that other front has largely collapsed. Oh, the trolls are chasing us. Might have to wheel around to a front where they can't follow us very easily. Yeah, their necromancer is suffering. Let's fire off our last one of these. Chaos Lord is panicking and running away, which is good news. How are the armies over here doing? Okay, over here the Undead army is still looking like they want to keep going. But I think we broke the Chaos army completely. You guys can come over here and help with this. You don't have to kill that surrendered Chaos Lord. Oh, there goes. You can see the Undead army broke and their units immediately crumbled. Okay, we took a fair amount of damage there, but on the whole, that went really well. I did it pretty sloppily because I was trying to go fast and not pause quite so much. I don't know why the battle's still happening when there's only one enemy unit on the field and it has surrendered, but eventually we got the idea. Okay, the good news is we're still in friendly territory. After the battle ends, we get teleported right back to where we teleported from, and so we'll have that good replenishment rate. 262 kills for the catapults. Catapults are leveling up very quickly. These trolls are also doing quite well. And it looks like we shouldn't have lost any units. The only one that's kind of close to the threshold is these guys, and these guys we didn't spend any scrap on. So if they got lost, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Overall, I'm saying I'm really pleased with that outcome. We didn't really get to watch the pump wagons do their thing. I'm so bad at using cavalry. Because it's just, it's a lot of, you have to spend a lot of attention on them. Attention is a limited resource. I do not have enough of it. That's the pausing is a scheme to stretch my limited attention over more of the battle. Wow, okay, that's a pretty decent chunk of change. So we could ransom the Chaos Captives off for 640. This might not even be a single turn off of our total replenishment time. I think I'm going to take the money. And hey, we did it. So, the Crown of Sorcerer was found in the ruins of Todheim by Azhag the Slaughterer. Its malign influence has helped the war boss carve a path of destruction throughout the Empire, for the Crown whispers advice and grants the wearer the power of death magic. And it's given us a bound spell, the Gaze of Nagash, which is good fun. And then Azhag himself, he should now... Oh, right. It takes a turn. You can see one turn until this thing is equipped. It takes a turn to change your equipment. I was going to say, we don't want to take the spells yet anyway, because we want to finish getting Lightning Strike first. We've leveled up enough to unlock a regiment of renown of Wolf Archers and of Night Goblin Squig Hoppers. And a pump wagon. Wow, there's a lot of stuff there. So we're probably not going to change Azhag's army too much. Let's step back into Karak Ungor and get the maximum degree of replenishment. Yeah, 2 turns until the most damaged units are full. That's pretty good. Also, we can afford to do this. And I think our next goal is just to make sure that we have 5,000 gold in 5 turns when it's time to do that next tech up. So we might want to take it easy on the hero action front here for a second, just so that we can save. I'm gonna have this guy run off down here. Let's keep an eye on what's going on. Actually, yeah, watch Wolfram Herdwig. We did take peace from them, right? Am I at war with anybody right now? Diplomacy. Just Kislev. We could, of course, just redeclare on Ostermark, and probably that is exactly what we will be doing in the near future. Okay, yeah, you also just keep an eye on Kislev's armed forces. We don't want to do anything this turn, we want to save money. So we'll have Ozhag sit at home for 2 turns, and then we'll ride out with our Wog army and raid and ruin stuff. I guess, actually, we could probably ride out right now. 1 turn of replenishment will be enough to, Ooh, that's bad news for Kislev. Wintertooth is a powerful Norskin faction. Yeah, it might be worth it to ride out right now and let the Wog army absorb the brunt of any battles we get into, just so that we can be out there doing stuff. Ozhag's armor is alright. It's got spikes in the right places, the odd skull here and there, and is decorated with the crusted blood of countless broken enemies. But it's missing something, and Ozhag can't quite put a finger on what that is. He summons his shamans to demand answers. Well, night goblins, generally speaking, are smarter, but I don't get the sense that orcs have a lot of respect for them, generally. Let's call an orc shaman in. So embed an orc shaman into Ozhag's army to work on his armor. Okay, we could do that. We were building the shaman building somewhere, weren't we? Yes, we already had, in fact. So again, it is probably a good idea to save a little bit of money. Yeah, we just need to get raiding. We need money too badly to just sit around here. So next turn we'll raid in Fort Jakova. If Wolfram Hertwig walks away, we'll try to keep an eye on him over here. If he walks away, we'll just redeclare war. Or if he walks over this way, we'll redeclare war. Basically, right here is the only place he can't be. What is this now? A Skaven faction is all up in their stuff and is at war with them. Okay. Clan Creepus. That's probably pretty good for us. Because that'll mean his army is compelled to go deal with them, and then we can run over here and ruin all their stuff. So I think No, you know what? We should probably go ahead and do this recruitment. Let's get the shaman. And then we'll embed him. -3 obedience for the local enemy province, and plus weapon damage, or plus leadership and melee attack for all of the units in the army. I do like plus 35 weapon damage. I think it's fun to have wizards who are good at fighting. This is probably better, though, to be honest. We'll go ahead and do this because embedding the shaman in the army is going to be worth gold, and it's going to unlock more quest steps, which will themselves be worth gold, so it's probably worth the effort. And we might break the river troll out and put the orc shaman in her spot or something. I'm not sure exactly what we'll do. But really what we want is to have another army. We just need to acquire for ourselves a little bit more income first. And I mean, if we have to rely on the income from having Ozhag the Slaughterer army out constantly fighting enemies, that's totally fine. Okay. They killed him and then just ran off. They didn't even take Nagenhof. Well, we're definitely going to declare war then. And we have to decide what we want to do as far as claiming territory. I think we had burned Fort Jakova before, but it's probably time to just take it over. Although it's not part of this province. What we really want to do is take this province over. So do I want to leave Fort Jakova? Do I want to burn it down again, maybe? Alright, first of all, you need to head in this direction as fast as you possibly can. Okay, because he's got to get merged up. Secondly, we're definitely going to declare war on these guys. They currently have no army, so we're absolutely going to go and just claim Fort Jakova because it's free to do so. And then... Oh, you know what? I'm definitely going to sack it, and then we'll determine what else to do with it later. I should probably burn it down, because I don't know that I want to control Fort Jakova itself right now. We definitely need to take more territory because our objectives have us having to control a lot of territory in total, but I think we're going to have a hard time holding a small settlement in the same province as an enemy large settlement at the moment. Alright, we grab Lightning Strike, and then from here on we'll focus on his magic again. You get to start focusing on your own magic, which will totally be useful later on when you are not in this army anymore. So we could occupy it right now. Do I want to try to hold it? Yeah, I guess so. If only because this slows us down the least. I don't think it's actually valuable for us to have this, but let's put up a garrison building. I think it's very vulnerable and we're going to have a hard time defending it. But if we wanted to burn it down, that would cost our entire next turn, because you can't burn a place down in the same turn that you sack it, so whatever, it's fine. Alright, and now we have all the gold that we need to do whatever we want, really.
Yes, boss.
Which means it's time for hero actions again. How dare this guy try to follow us? Ooh, wow, he's hard to kill, actually. Never mind. We'll run over here and damage the walls of Prague, I guess? We have a slightly better chance of doing that. Critical failure. Oh no, Gouger Legbiter got himself wounded, attempting to blow up a section of wall. Well, okay, in 5 turns he'll be back, it's fine. You wanna try to undertake actions that have a high success chance, even if you don't necessarily care whether they succeed, partially because of that, and partially because successful hero actions give more XP than failed ones do. Yeah, you know what? Nope, he also critically failed. I was going to say, it sure would be nice to have faster research. We actually have a lot of research we want to get done. Okay, well, I guess we're done for the turn. I'm going to throw another scrap upgrade on these guys, because I'm worried I'll forget to come back to them if we don't do it right now. And there we go. Now we have a nice, powerful army. An army that is composed around a core of Orc Biggins is tough for early game units to deal with. We have not seen a lot of technological advancement from the men of Ostermark. I'm sure, like, the big Empire factions over to the west are getting their cannons and stuff online, but these Ostermark dudes are running around with tier 1 units, and we should be able to absolutely flatten them now. I mean, we were beating them before, right? So we discovered a Shroom Gatherer. I don't actually even know how many follower slots we have open. What am I doing? I want to upgrade your skills. Let's get you Soul Blight. Soul Blight seems great. And then real quick, on Azhag, how many follower slots do we still have open? Yeah, let's throw that Shroom Gatherer on you, and then this guy, who doesn't even exist anymore, as a follower that I would like. Give me that. That is my follower. Oh, interesting. You can't actually choose to take the Crown of Sorcery off. Once it's on, it's on. I mean, you would never want to, but I don't think I've ever seen an item like that that wouldn't even let you take it off. Can't quite attack this turn, so we'll just raid a little bit. You know how we love raiding. And we really want to just press hard until we finish off this until the WOG is over, right? I think in Nasharak's lair we are going to build a defensive building because it's approachable via the mountain pass from the south. Until we have this stuff under control, this is kind of on the front. And let's take this opportunity to upgrade some of our buildings. So we have 2 turns to put together the money. Yeah, this should be fine. How much does it cost to cap that out? That one I might want to wait on. Yeah, just in case something goes a little wrong. And then your deal is just get over here. I guess you can do this thing. Fingers crossed. Okay, he successfully steals technology. So do we think, is Grutshot Blackbog gonna be... Yeah, he's gonna be an army hero. We'll give him some proper army skills, rather than focusing on his campaign stuff. So Ostermark is putting together a new army down there at Essen. I do not think it is going to be fast enough. We're going to have to deal with Kislev at some point here, but I'd like to clean up Ostermark if we can. And then, of course, west of Ostermark, there's going to be another human nation, and those guys are going to declare war on us eventually, but they might not declare war on us the instant they get access to our borders. You know, there might be a turn or 2 of delay on that, and it will cost them dearly. All right, let's hire Rachnik Spiderclaw. What is behind his skill here? What is he locking? Hero action stuff, scrap upgrades for trolls. Okay, that's useful. Plus 10 diplomatic relations with all factions. Apparently everybody comes to respect Gork and Mork. Okay, that's interesting. And then we have to get both Rachnik and Oglok before we can get to... -1 turn global recruitment time is pretty powerful. Upkeep reduction for all units, that's a big deal. Scrap upgrades for the Arachnarok. Okay, this stuff is real powerful. Let's get in here and grab us some settlements. It's probably fine to sack this. I know it's a pretty small amount of money. So the reason that you might not want to sack a place if you're taking it over is that sacking it does add a whole bunch of extra temporary... Oh, maybe it doesn't. I thought it added extra temporary negative obedience, but it looks like that is not the case. But it does damage the buildings. And so here, our buildings are cheap enough to repair. We got 2,000 gold and then had to spend 600 gold to offset it. That's totally fine. But it doesn't always work out that way, and especially if a settlement is larger or you get more money for sacking it, that means you're probably damaging more buildings and thus would have to pay more costs to fix them. And I know I was all excited about getting more magic, but we just got access to our fancy wyvern mount, and I can't not take the awesome wyvern, right? We'll totally get to this stuff, I swear we will. Alright, can we make room in this army? Let's back you out, put you in. There we go. Have one giant unit in Azhag's army. The Orc Shaman prances about the campfire, gyrating to extremes the boys have never witnessed before, or ever want to see again. The thumping of the drums and the rattling of his bone charms soon brings on the trance-like state, which allows him to commune with Gork, or Mork, because I'm telling you, not even the greenskins can tell the difference. Having danced himself to exhaustion, he finally collapses. From his prone position on the dusty ground, he gasps that Mork and Gork want to see some proper stomping, and Azhag should get one of them big fellas in his mob. Once this is done, they might have a way of blinging his armor up proper-like. Okay, so we gotta recruit a giant. Fortunately, the giant is recruited from the troll building. Unfortunately, I built our troll building in a place where it can't be upgraded to tier 4. Well, probably what we will do is when Karak Ungor hits tier 4 in a second, we'll build a new troll building. So actually, let's just demolish this one. A little bit of a lack of foresight on my part. It's fine. We wanted time to recruit trolls before Karak Ungor hit tier 4. It's not a big deal. And then I think we're gonna have the river troll just wait for us to recruit a second army. So just like run around the map and be a scout until we recruit that second army. I think that makes sense. It is going to be a little while, though. We are really straining our economic limits here. I mean, that's a big part of why we need more territory, I guess. We need more slots in cities where we can build money-making buildings. Once we burn through... Oh, looks like Ostermark is having some problems. And that right there is exactly the thing I was worried about. We're going to have a hard time defending Fort Jakova. So these guys are allies of Ostermark. And they declared war on us when we declared war on Ostermark this last time. So the only thing we can see in their army is some pretty basic troops, although it is worth noting, rank 6 on the one unit of troops we can actually see. This dude has some pretty decent armor. Let's see. You are going to take another level of Soul Blight. Soul Blight's great. Actually, never mind. You're going to take another level of Replenished Troops, because that is also great. And then you're going to run over there and mess with these guys? Maybe. We have a decision to make with Azhag. Do we press forward and try to take over this stuff? No, you know what? I think we're going to turn around and try to kill those guys. So, the way we probably want to do this is by... We could just run to Fort Jakova and make them probably unable to take it. How's their strength compared to ours? It's about the same. That means they have 2 full armies, right? Because we have 40 units worth of guys. I'm thinking maybe the thing we actually want to do here is get nearby, go into ambush mode, let them take Jakova. So hold on, our ambush will be more effective if we're not standing just out in the open. You can see when we mouse over different bits of terrain, the ambush success chance changes. Yeah, if we were able to get properly in the trees here, it would be a little bit higher. I didn't preserve enough movement for that. So they might have a second army out here in the darkness. We're going to try to bait them into attacking Fort Jakova, and then we'll just jump them when we can be reasonably sure that it's just going to be their one army versus our 2 armies worth of guys. And we can start working toward trolling. I don't think sneaking is not huge for us, but trolling will be nice. And we got to start making that troll building happen. We are going to need some more money. I mean, that can be what we do here. Even more income. And then we probably want to use this building slot to... We could put in another recruitment building that needs to get up to tier 4. Like, we could get Orc Boar Cavalry, which is maybe worth having. It is anti-large cavalry, which is definitely valuable. We already have a wolf recruitment building going in Karak Kadrin. The other thing we could do, of course, is just build a moneymaker, right? Because we desperately need cash. But I think we want to get started on opening this up. It's going to leave us with very little money to work with for a little while, but that's alright. We don't make our money on the stock market. We make our money by killing everybody else and taking all their money. Which I guess isn't that... It's like the stock market with fewer steps, basically. So fingers crossed that the ambush holds. So I don't want these guys to have the information they need to make a good decision. Yep, they didn't see through it. Okay, great. So wow, we did really little damage. I was expecting our army to do something to them there. It's like they didn't. You wouldn't even notice that they had taken a hit. Kislevites want peace? I think we want to say no to this. If we're going to have to take down, whatever the heck these guys' names, I've already forgotten. We're going to have to go through Kislev to do it looks like. I think we're going to be on the rampage in this area for quite a while. We do not want peace. The Varg, which is another faction of Norskins, has just declared war on all of the dudes we're fighting, so that's good for us. Alright, this should be a completely trivial battle. For some reason, it is being treated as though it is a big deal. We have twice their units. And also, my units are better than theirs are. This balance of power bar is very bad and wrong. Well, okay, it looks like we're probably going to have to fight this one manually just to make sure that we get a result that makes any kind of sense. And that's probably not a good thing to start doing 58 minutes into the episode. So I think we're going to call it right here for the moment. Thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time, tomorrow, we will begin our episode with the ritual slaughter of 1,000 humans. And from there, things are only going to get worse for our neighbors. And we'll see you then.